Hey, Taylor, thank you so much for the dream interpretation request. Rest assured, I got both of them. I know that you were a little bit worried that I might have not gotten the whole emails because you sent one and then another. I got both. I read all of it. Typically, what we do here is I read through the message and then I talk about the symbols and then apply them to your life, what your mind's trying to tell you. Yours is a little bit longer though, so I'm going to skip the reading it, right? So we don't go over that again. So you get the most out of this 3 to 5 minutes that we've got together. But first, before we jump in, I want to say thank you so much for trusting me with your dreams, for supporting the channel, for following what I do. It means the world to me, and it helps make sure that we can continue to make the content that we're making. So you're a huge part of that, and I just want to say thank you. Hopefully I can repay you a little bit by giving you some insight into what your dream means. Like I said, I'm not going to read the whole thing, which is typically what we do. I'm going to summarize, right? There's a lot of reoccurring themes in this dream. There's a lot of reoccurring themes about pregnancy, about children, about twins, and then a lot of things about like vampires, worms, and demons. So basically, there's a lot of reoccurring symbols about your child or the unborn child either turning out to be a vampire, having worms in its neck that like you're trying to take them desperately to hospitals to get fixed. And the worms, they're like, don't worry about it. It's fine. But you're like, the worms, they're like sucking the life out of them. And you're stressed in the dream. And you're like, what does this mean? Well, Taylor, I think it's a huge warning. And I'll tell you why. You actually may be surprised and feel reassured that it's not quite the warning that you think. I really, truly believe, obviously talk with your doctor, right? Make sure you get proper medical treatment. But I do believe that your dream does not have a lot to do with your children. I believe that they're safe, that they're okay. However, what it is warning you about is something else, and we're going to get into that. So let's talk about these symbols, right? This is what we always do. What do the symbols mean? Particularly in the very first part, your 3-year-old child has worms coming out of its neck that look parasitic, and you keep trying to rip them out, but they keep popping back up. The neck is a huge source in the body for a type of energy. There's different parts of our body, and they emotionally mean different things. Like if you have pain or trouble with your arms, it means that you need to defend yourself or that you're not able to reach the goals that you want in your life. If you have trouble in your legs, it means that you're running from something that you need to not be running from. So our body and where we feel things in our body correlates very strongly with the type of emotions that we're experiencing. The neck has been shown to be very much associated with decision making, right? And so when you see something happening in the neck, especially in dreams, or even you feel pain in the neck, it means that there's struggles with decisions, with the weight of decisions, and particularly vulnerability due to struggles with decisions. And so you're seeing this. But we have to remember there's one particular thing about dreams. Dreams are very much about ourselves. Now, they don't have a ton to do with the external world. In dream interpretation, we call that manifest content, the stuff that's outside. The part that's inside, which is way more important, is called latent content. It has to do with ourselves and what we need to be changing based on what our dreams are trying to communicate. So this child is a symbol for your parenting. There are some difficult parenting decisions that you need to make that are really troubling you, that struggle. And oftentimes I can tell from this dream that you feel a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety related to the decisions that you have to make as a parent, particularly in vulnerable parts of your life. And this could be just as an adult as well, but any type of decision-making, executive function stuff can be stressful for you. And that's being shown very apparently in the dream. Now, what about the vampires, the worms, the demons? What does all that mean? Well, this is where I think it's a warning. When we see vampires, worms, demons, leeches, things like that, it's a huge symbol of a warning. But you might be surprised to find that that warning is not that something outside is stealing from your child. It's actually a symbol for you, in that your difficulty with stress, with anxiety, with making decisions in your life is actually causing harm to those people that you care about most and to yourself. And that's okay. I don't want you to beat yourself up over that. But this dream is really showing you, hey, we're hurting here, and we're hurting those that we care about the most because we get super stressed, super anxious, and we want everything to be perfect. What your dream is trying to tell you is embrace the mess. Embrace the parts of the world, the parts of yourself, the parts of your child that are darker, right? Not bad, but the parts that typically you try and make perfect. Your child's supposed to be messy. You're supposed to be messy. Your need and your kind of compulsive drive to fix those things and to make sure that everything's perfect is actually causing a lot of pain to yourself and others. And that really not breaks my heart, but makes my heart hurt for you, because I understand that pain, and I've felt that in my own life in a lot of ways too. And I'm over here looking off into my own memories and dreams, thinking about how this has affected me too. And so, Taylor, I feel this, and I think the real evidence of this is that when you take your child and these different children to the doctor's like, it's no big deal. You're gonna have to wait 3 hours because, it's no worries. They'll go away on their own. And that's really the thing. Like, especially with kids, we try and control them and make them perfect because we want the best life for them. But really, oftentimes kids just need to be kids and grow up, and that's okay. Parent well. And, I always recommend mental health counseling, family therapy for these kind of things. Parent well, but allow children to be messy. Embrace the shadow side of yourself as mom and your kids, because it's okay. And in fact, those shadow sides that we get so worried about are what make people unique and beautiful and lovely. There's a really cool sort of dichotomy in that image of the mother. The mother is both this giver of life and this destroyer of life. And if we're not careful, that shadow side of being a mother can kind of come out. I encourage you to look up the goddess Kali, right? She is the goddess in Hindu religion. I hope I'm saying that right. Indian culture that gives life to the world, but also is like the bringer of death. And so we have to be careful, because sometimes we can try and mother so much that we actually kill the innocence of our child inside. And your dream is warning you about this. There's a couple things I just want to point out before we wrap up. Pregnancy is a symbol of new identity for you. Doctor means you're trying to fix, but the doctor is not trying to fix anything. The doctor in your dreams, your brain, is telling you things are fine. You're over worrying about it. Twins, when you have twins, it's a huge symbol for stress, meaning like you feel burdened by more than you can handle. And then there's 2 sentences that stood out in your dream that I want to point out. You said, and then I showed my mom a pic of how it went through to his fingers, and she said, OMG, Zach looks just like Spider-Man. He always wanted to be Spider-Man when he was younger. Huge symbol for the things that you're worrying about are actually the things that your children need to be the most. They need that freedom. They need that self-exploration. They need to be messy and dirty and make mistakes and figure it out. And then the second thing that pointed out to me was in the second thing that you emailed me. It said, I checked to see if it was blood that was coming from your nose, but it was just water dripping from my nose. Blood is a symbol of life draining from us and that we're being drained. But when you go and look in the mirror to examine if you're being drained of life, you find out that it's not blood. You're not losing your life. It's just water. And water is a symbol for emotions, showing that you're being a little bit overly emotional about these things. You're worrying so much, and that worry makes you feel like you're losing your life, but things are really going to be okay. So it's warning you, hey, don't stress so much. Be mom, let them be that, be yourself, change your identity, grow, and accept the messiness and the dark side of life, because people need to make mistakes. People need to be messy, and love them through it and love yourself through it. Taylor, I really appreciate you so much sending me this. I hope that gives you some insight. If you want to go deeper, there's so much to unpack here. I would love to do it with you. But that's really up to you. I don't want you to feel any pressure. You're welcome to schedule a session with me if you want, so we can go through each of these symbols and really dive deep into exactly what you need to change. But like I always say, take this video to your mental health counselor and talk with them about it and get some insight into, whoa, okay, this is what's going on. I hope that I've been of help. Thank you so much for being here. If I can do anything else, send me an email back, put it in the comments down below. But I look forward to talking and helping with you more. Thanks for being part of the Lion Pride. Until we meet again. Peace.